Human beings have been procrastinating for centuries. The problem is so timeless. In fact, that ancient Greek philosophers like Socrates and Aristotle developed a word to describe this type of behavior: akrasia. Akrasia is a state of acting against your better judgment. It's when you do one thing even though you know you have to do something else. The modern definition for this involves ignoring hard, unpleasant, and important tasks in favor of something that is more enjoyable and easier. Giving in too much of this can lead you to feeling really guilty and ashamed, and worst case scenario, you feel completely demotivated to do any sort of work. Now, how can we beat this and ensure that we do things that we put our mind into? Well, first is by understanding the reason on why you procrastinate, which can help you tackle the problem even better. Asking yourself why the next time you want to procrastinate can really help you understand the problem better and give it more clarity. Is it because you're worried about failure? Is it because you have trouble organizing? Is it because you're feeling overwhelmed by a particular task? Different reasons require different procrastination busting tactics. Identifying the root cause of a procrastination is the key to finding the right solution. If it's the fear of failure that's holding you back, try to shift your mindset. We all want to succeed, and the thought of feeling short or failing can be really scary. But here's the thing: failure isn't the end of the world. In fact, it's almost necessary in the path of success. Think about it like learning to ride a bike. You're probably going to fall a few times before you get the hang of it. And each time you fall, you learn something new that helps you do better next time. The same goes for any task or goal that you're working towards. It's okay to stumble along the way, because every mistake is a chance to learn and grow. So instead of letting fear hold you back, try embracing it as a natural part of the process. If you feel overwhelmed about a particular task, breaking it down to smaller chunks and picking one that you can do now can make you do the task much more effortlessly. If organizing is the issue, take some time to tidy up your workspace and create a clear plan of action. Write down the things that need to be done and prioritize it based on importance and urgency. Set deadlines for yourself so that you stay on track and hold yourself accountable. Setting a tight deadline can create a sense of urgency within you. Remember the times when you had to finish a project or an essay and you were given 1 to 2 months of time to finish it and complete it. You would keep delaying it, saying that you have time. But then just 2 to 3 days before the deadline, you start to panic and give your full concentration and effort to make sure that you complete it on time. The results might not be that good, but you completed 1 to 2 months of work in just 2 to 3 days. How is this possible? Because of a deadline. Researchers have found that tighter deadlines can encourage quicker response, making procrastination less likely. Be organized by having a timetable set, wherein you get clear on a task that you need to do and set a time to do it. It's like having each slot of time allocated towards a particular task, so you don't have to waste time thinking and pondering on what task to do. We tend to overestimate what we can do in a day and underestimate what we can do in a year. Try to focus on the long game the next time you want to procrastinate. Think about the long-term gain and benefits you would obtain if you do the task now. For instance, it could be you studying for a particular subject earlier, which in turn leads you to having more time to revise, which in turn leads you to score higher marks in your exam. It might feel hard and unpleasant to do it and might even seem pointless. That's exactly when you would envision the long-term benefits that you would get if you do the task now, which helps you get up and do the work that is needed. This particular strategy will increase the value of the work to you and make your work worthwhile. Visualize your success. Visualize how good you would feel after you complete that task. Visualize the relief, the sense of accomplishment when you complete that particular task. This can motivate you to get started. You should understand the power of starting. Often we procrastinate because the task becomes too daunting to begin with. However, once you start with it, it's easier to continue. So make the first move, no matter how small it is. Instead of thinking about finishing the task, just focus on starting it. Another technique to beat procrastination is something called eat the frog. Alright, picture a scenario wherein you have to eat a frog daily. If you don't, it's just gonna add up to the next day. So in this case, you would probably eat the frog as early as possible so that this task doesn't become daunting at the end of the day. By tackling your most important task first thing in the morning, you're setting yourself up for success. Because let's face it, if you can handle eating a frog, the rest of the day is probably going to feel like a piece of cake in comparison. Now, before you start to think about eating an actual frog, let's clarify something. The frog here is a metaphor for the important task that you've been putting off. We all have those tasks that we rather avoid doing, such as making that daunting phone call, starting that challenging project, or tackling the mountain of emails. But here's the thing, the longer you put it off, the bigger and scarier it becomes. So instead of letting it linger in your to-do list, muster up the courage and just do it now. Dive in right away and finish that task. You'll be amazed at how light you feel afterwards. By starting your day with your frog, you're not only getting the toughest task out of the way, but you're also setting a positive tone for the rest of the day. You'll feel more productive, more accomplished, and more in control of your time. And lastly, if you still feel like all of this is too complicated and just want a simple, one-step method, then do this. It's something called a 3-2-1 rule. It's super simple. When you have to do a particular task and you feel like the hesitation is creeping in, just count in your head 3, 2, 1, go. And then take the action immediately. It's like giving yourself a mental push on whatever you need to do. You see, hesitation is a sneaky thing. It's like a tiny voice in your head that will talk you out of action. But here's the thing, the longer you hesitate, the more power you give to that little voice in your head. It's like giving it permission to hold you back. But when you use this 3-2-1 rule, you're not giving any time to hesitate. It's a simple and powerful way to get over that mental barrier and get things done. So the next time you find yourself hesitating, just follow the 3-2-1 rule. You'll be amazed at how easier it is to get things done when you don't let hesitation hold you back. If you're a person who have trouble focusing on a particular task for a long period of time and you keep getting distracted with the things around you, then check out this video where I'll talk about how to focus for a long period of time so that you can do amazing work in that period of time.